Is this going to work? Hopefully. If anyone is here, we'll see if I can get this to work. I'm trying to live stream, but nothing is playing nice. Oh, am I live now on YouTube at least? It might actually be working on YouTube. Hold up. Let's see. See if it's actually doing its thing. Live streams, save, open up YouTube. It is working, so it's just freaking Restream that is being a joke. I apologize, guys. Usually this is not how I start going live, and usually I'm live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. Right now, I am only live on YouTube. This has been an absolutely insane week with such weird issues on a daily basis. And now, usually I use Restream to go live, and all of it just stopped working. I had everything configured. I was sending the data to Restream. I wasn't sending it back out. It couldn't connect to YouTube, couldn't connect to Twitch, couldn't connect to LinkedIn, even though it looked like it was working. But I think at least I'm live now. So hello, everyone. Guys, I am going to throw up a 5-minute countdown. I apologize that this is a very weird way of doing this, but I'm still seeing if I can figure out a way to get the other streams up. So talk amongst yourselves for 5 minutes. I will be right back.
Watching my mansion burn to ash while I hold the gas can, asking God if he started this fire. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Make all my hopes and my dreams come to life just to lay them to rest. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Give me a false sense of peace just to show me what peace really is. Is this what you wanted? On the verge, on the edge. Is this what you wanted? Petrified, scared to death. Is this what you wanted? Praying to God, desperate. Is this what you wanted? What you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Hanging on by a thread. Is this what you wanted? Empty heart, nothing left. Is this what you wanted? Breaking down, spiraling. Is this what you wanted? What you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? My head is this what you wanted? To ash. Is this what you wanted? What you wanted? Is this what you wanted? The gas. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Started. Is this what you wanted? What you wanted? Even on my off days, right? Even when I'm off base, life living like tomorrow ain't promised to me. Gotta get it today. Why wait? Too late. Never heard it always. On time, my way or the highway. My state not safe. Need grace, need love, need God, need faith. Betray, cut ties. First time, first take. Worst case, wordplay. My home, my stage, my place. Less you, more Ye, more Drake, more M, more Dre, more Cole, more Kendrick, more names. Corday, Sean Black. My list, my names, my picks, my taste, my fate in my own hands. Hand it over to you, no chance. Wanna get the Who won it? Heard that you was looking for the smoke, huh? Catch me on a bad day and you might find it. Fine dining, flying private. Couple things that I could easily afford to do. A couple things that you don't know a thing about. You might have read about it, heard about it, thought about it, dreamt about it, played it out inside your head. But what I'm doing for a living isn't something I was taught. You either got it or you don't got it, and you don't got it. I'm the co-signer, you the broke artist. I'm the captain and you and coach flying. I'm the lead role, you in the background. Yeah, I'm the star player, you the mascot. Yeah, I'm the future, you the past old timer. I'm the truth and you the bold-faced liar. I'm the CEO and you the customer. I'm the frontman and the ghost writer. I'm the creator, I'm the director, I'm the hit maker, I'm the empire, I'm the shot caller, I'm the showstopper, I'm the real one, you the fake knockoff. Jaw drop, headliner, top gunner, head honcho, eye catcher, real stunner. Y'all got it, new topic, Ye's DACA. Menery was inspirational to me, I love watching. Lames try to keep stars in the dark just cause they afraid of you. Funny how they switch up quick when they realize that your name buzzing.
All right, let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another live stream. My name is Tyler Ramsby. Super excited to have you taking the time to hang out with me. Now, a few things right at the outset. Usually, I am live on YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitch, but among many other crazy issues this week, maybe we'll dive into them a little bit in the live stream today. But man, every single day, like things just break. It's been insane. And today I was like, hey, I've been meaning to live stream more often this week, but I've been working on my web app pen testing course and doing a pen test. So then I was like, hey, I'll live stream at night. But then I was still working at night on the other stuff, so I didn't even have time to live stream at night. But I was like, okay, it's Friday afternoon. I still have a bunch of stuff to do, but I wanted to jump on live and say hello to everyone. So I load up Restream like I have done literally hundreds of times. I go live on OBS, it pipes it out to Restream, Restream receives it. I can see Restream trying to receive it, but everything's blank and it doesn't pipe it out to the platforms. I then reconnected all the channels, thinking maybe I need to reconnect the channels. I then verified my RMTP settings in OBS, thinking maybe something was off there. Everything is good. I have no idea why Restream is broken, but it's frustrating because I pay for Restream. It's not a free service. So now it's just the YouTube people. All right. So if you have friends who usually watch like on Twitch, tell them come to YouTube. YouTube is where it's at. I was able to manually live stream to YouTube by configuring OBS's RMTP settings to connect to YouTube. So here we go. Ubuntu's, it's not Ubuntu. It has nothing to do with Ubuntu. It's not my OS. I thought maybe I broke a setting, and well, here's some good news. Like the only good news I have this week, guys, is you remember, it's probably going to break now that I'm talking, but you remember that random like audio glitch I would sometimes get on live streams and videos while I'm talking? It would almost feel like a CPU overload and it would glitch. Guys, I freaking fixed it. I was beginning to record my web app pen testing course and it was happening in the recording. And I was like, no, I cannot do this in the recording. It's driving me crazy. And so I went down a crazy rabbit hole, ended up swapping some encoder settings again in OBS. And I have recorded, I don't know how many videos now, and I have not heard it yet in any of the videos. So I'm crossing my fingers. I think I fixed it. But then what I was thinking, okay, maybe somehow when I fixed that issue, I broke OBS being out. Oh my goodness, Bruja. Dude, I saw your comment that you heard it again, and I was like, no way. Anyways, I thought when I fixed the OBS issue, I then broke the ability for my OBS to live stream. So, Tyler, you there? Yes. Sank, you have to be messing with me. Surely you can hear me. But at this point in time, I was reading the comments. Okay. Guys, at this point in time, it wouldn't even surprise me. Like, oh man. I'll share with you guys a little bit, but wanted to say hello. Let me know how things are going in your guys' world. Things have been rough, really rough for me this week, but still moving through, right? In the boxing world, my boxing coach, well, he used to be my boxing coach. He doesn't actively train anymore, but he's in the South Dakota Hall of Fame for boxing. But he always said, if you can't fight tired, you can't win fights. When you get into a ring to box someone, it's not about not getting tired. You're going to be exhausted. What separates good boxers from people who can't box is even when you are exhausted and you have nothing left to give, you fall back on that muscle memory. You can still throw punches. You can still do head movement, all that good stuff. Hey, we got a super chat from Shake saying I passed CRTO. Dude, that is amazing. Congratulations. At least we have some good news in the chat. Absolutely love it. Thank you for letting us know. And thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. But anyways, that's how I'm moving through my days today. I'll share with you guys a little bit, maybe. I don't want to be like super negative the whole time and start your weekend out on a bad note. But also happy to do some AMA. I see a bunch of questions coming in. Before I do the AMA, let me show you guys what I've been working on. Because if you've been following me for any length of time, you might be used to me live streaming quite literally all the time. I mean, usually it's every day or every other day I jump on stream. We do some live hacking and we hack all the things together. I do Q&A, all of that fun stuff. You may have noticed I've been MIA. Well, at the end of December, I took 3 weeks off, or at least I tried to the best of my ability. One big takeaway from that is I really freaking suck at actually taking time off. I was okay at it during the day, but like as soon as my kids were in bed, I was on my computer working. Part of it is, I'm the only employee of Hack Smarter and KairosHack, so I knew I was going to have to work a little bit every single day, but I continually just gave myself extra work. I suck at just like chilling out for a while. So that's legit an area I need to get better on. I need to get better at being able to like disconnect and not always being in work mode, because obviously that's not healthy. But outside of that, so I did that for 3 weeks. And then I did the one live stream, I think was that Sunday night before this week got started. But then this week, Monday and Tuesday, I was on a short pen test. So that's why I wasn't going to stream those days. And then this web app pen testing course, guys, that I'm working on is massive. I'm targeting late February, early March. I have never really missed a deadline I have ever set, so I'm doing my best to stick to that deadline. But this course is a few things. Number one, I think it's going to be the largest course I've ever made. Number two, I think it's going to be the highest quality course I have ever made. If you go through it, and it's geared for beginners. So if you're like a pen testing god, if you're Tiberius, for example, this course isn't for you. But if you are a beginner and you want to go from beginner to about intermediate or junior pen tester level as a web app pen tester, I really do think this is going to be the best course you will go through. I'm speaking into existence, but I've put in a lot of work on it. It's teaching, of course, but I'm also building custom labs for the course and all of that good stuff. So I want to show that to you guys. I want to show you guys a preview of that course and everything that I have done on it. Real quick, let me see if I'm missing any big questions in chat. Oh, you know what else we got to do, guys? I meant to do this earlier, but I was distracted by the tech issues. I was sure to pick up some energy for the Friday afternoon. I did not get a Rockstar today. We're changing it up today with a Celsius. Let me know if you guys ever had Celsius. This live stream is not sponsored by Celsius, but if they want to throw some money my way, I'll probably tell them no and lose the money anyways. But so I'm trying out Celsius. We got the grape slush here. We got 270 milligrams of caffeine, which is a lot. So that should feel good. So let's crack this open, guys, and then I'll answer some questions. I'll share with you a little more about my week and entrepreneurship and all that fun stuff. Also, full disclosure, I'm not going to be doing my normal live hacking today. I was planning on doing my normal live hacking today, but as life goes, I don't have time to do it. I have about an hour to hang out with you guys, and I go pick up kids from school and all of that fun stuff. Sugar-free Mountain Dew does not have 300 milligrams. Dude, Mountain Dew has about 50 milligrams of caffeine. It's good. Okay, let me look at chat. Can you describe a path to the OSCP? Ask Lifelong Learner USA. It's really difficult for me to describe a path to the OSCP because everyone's path is going to be different. I will say I think the Pen 200 course by OffSec, they have made it significantly better than it was when I went through it. So if you have some basic hacking experience, and by that, if you can If you've been working through some machines on like Hack Smarter or Hack the Box, and you can solve some machines even with the walkthrough, you understand how Kali Linux works, you understand how to work with the CLI a little bit, then you could probably do the Pen 200, and the Pen 200 plus Proving Grounds machines plus Lane's List would be a good path to the OSCP. I don't think you need a bunch of outside resources for the OSCP, at least for the learning part of it yet, but I do think for the practice going through machines, that's where you really need some of those outside resources. Cyber Gilly said, will you be at Wild West Hacking Fest in Denver? I will not. I do not travel. For a few reasons. One, I just don't like traveling. Because of where I live, everywhere I go is a connecting flight, which sucks. But number two, guys, I have 2 young kids, and I don't want to not be home. So I prefer to be home with my kids than to be at conferences. No offense to all of you at the conferences. So I limit my travel to only 3 big conferences. I will be at DEF CON in August. Then I will be at Wild West Hacking Fest in October, and then I'll be at Simply CyberCon in South Carolina in November. So outside of those 3 conferences, you will not catch me anywhere else, unless you come to South Dakota. I live near Sioux Falls, which is our biggest city. So if you're like, hey, Tyler, let's meet up at Culver's in Sioux Falls. Culver's is my favorite restaurant. I'll meet you at Culver's. But outside of that, I don't travel. Warm greetings from Russia. I love it. Hey, I appreciate you checking in. Appreciate you checking all the way from Russia. What is today's agenda? Today's agenda is AMA. So any questions you guys might have about cybersecurity, pen testing, careers, entrepreneurship, business, you name it, life, if you want, we can talk about that. We'll also just share with you guys some of the realities of entrepreneurship, especially those who are interested in starting their own business or doing their own thing. If you do not know, hello, I'm Tyler. I am the founder of 2 organizations. One is Hack Smarter. You can check that out at hacksmarter.org. We have hands-on labs and courses that you can actually afford in the field of ethical hacking. And the second is Kairos, which is a pen testing firm. So if your company is looking for a pen test in 2026, we have openings. I would love to talk with you and work with you. So links are below, but I'm fully self-employed. I was a pen tester at a pretty well-known firm up until October. I left there, wasn't laid off, wasn't fired, still have a really good relationship with them, but wanted to try to build something of my own. So I've been fully self-employed since then, with both the joys and, the painful aspects of it, and happy to share with you guys both. Thanks, I've been doing the sliver craziness. Love it. Armor is beyond good. Awesome. Yeah, I'll show you guys the full web app course up to this point. I'll take that web pen testing course. It's my weakest point. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It'll be $29.99 when it releases for lifetime access. Otherwise, it will be available in the all access subscription, which permit me some self-promotion real quick. Wow, this actually worked. It actually pulled up the screen. Anyways, if you haven't been to hacksmarter.org, this is the primary thing that I've been working on. But for only $16.99 a month for the annual plan, you unlock everything on the platform. These are full video-based courses with labs built into them. Hack With Me's are like mini courses, and then these are all labs. You download a VPN, you can hack away, all with a heavy focus on realism. You can see a few of the labs are free, but I just want to emphasize, free for you does not mean free for me. I have no outside investors. I am bootstrapping this from my personal checking account. So if you find the content helpful, if you appreciate my live streams, if you appreciate YouTube, if you appreciate Hack Smarter, just please consider becoming a paid subscriber. It does make a huge difference for me. It may not be a big deal for, like Hack the Box. I'm a huge fan of Hack the Box, but they have I think $55 million plus in funding. Whether you subscribe to them or not isn't going to make or break their organization. But whether or not you join and subscribe to Hack Smarter really will make or break Hack Smarter. One subscription actually does make a massive difference for me and for our ability to keep making labs at that accessible rate. And the web app course, so this price is going to go up. At least the annual price is going to go up when I release the course. But if you enroll now, you're locked in at that rate forever. Your price will never go up. So I'm giving it to you basically at cost to me right now if you consider all the lab time that you get as a result of it. All right, let's answer some more questions real quick. I realize I'm missing some stuff. LifeDose2 said, what do you consider a beginner? Hey, that's a good question. A beginner, at least for my web app pen testing course, what I mean by a beginner is some basic familiarity with the Linux CLI, the command line interface, and basic familiarity with Kali Linux. So I'm not teaching you how to install Kali Linux, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of guides and videos online that will walk you through that. But if you have never done a web app pen test, if you've never done bug bounty, you will be able to pick up the course and not be lost. But by the end of the course, I am not joking. You'll hear this in the course itself, but at my previous firm, since I was one of the lead pen testers, when we would hire a junior pen tester, a big part of what we did and what I do now at Kairosec is web app pen testing, because basically every company has a web app and it's public facing or internet facing, and it has the largest attack surface. So when we would hire a new junior pen tester, they would shadow me for a week or 2 weeks, and I would teach them how to do web app pen testing in the real world, and not CTFs, but real web app pen testing. I'm taking the things that I would mentor junior pen testers on, and I'm making it much more structured, much more clear with labs built into it. And that is what the web app pen testing course is and what it's going to be. And like I said, I've been putting in work on this, guys, the past few days, and I'll show you everything that I have been able to accomplish thus far. Oh, you like the black hoodie? It's black hoodie on, right? You got my Cali booted up in the black hoodie on. Will it be comparable to the SAN GWEB? I've never taken that. I don't have the money to take SAN's courses, but let's check it out. Will it be comparable? I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be better. Let me see what it covers. First of all, this exam is silly. This is a big issue I have with SANS. Not all of their courses are like this or their exams, but if you are certifying someone in an ethical hacking course, it should never be multiple choice. Answering questions on an exam does not mean you are proficient as a pen tester. So I've heard that the SANS training is really good, but this is a joke to me. If you're doing a hacking exam, it should be fully hands-on in a realistic environment. I'm pretty sure this probably costs thousands of dollars, whereas mine's $29.99. Someone would have to, take it and compare it, but I am almost certain. I don't know if we have. Oh, they don't even give the curriculum. If someone's ever taken this and you take my course, I'm almost certain my course will be higher quality than this SANS course. You have to see if I'm right when the course comes out, but we'll find out. Thank you, Joshua. Oh, sorry, guys. YouTube's chat doesn't work as well as Restream, so it just dropped me away from where I was at. John Doe said, will your web app course be good for beginner bug bounty hunting with Kaido? Yeah, so I do teach Kaido in the course. I actually finished recording the introduction to Kaido segment today, was one of the things I finished recording. But I need to be clear, and I actually have a whole section in the course on this as well. Web app pen testing and bug bounty are not the same thing. The things that you learn in a web app pen testing course, of course, translate to bug bounty, because often bug bounty is web-based attacks. But to be good at bug bounty, really what you need to focus on is recon. During a web app pen test, the scope is very clear. The client gives you a URL, and that is what's in scope. You're not spending a lot of time using like AMAS and doing recon to find other attack surfaces, right? It's either in scope or it's not in scope. It's very clear. Additionally, bug bounty ignores a lot of the more informational and low vulnerabilities, such as username enumeration. Those are often out of scope for a bug bounty. In a real web app pen test, you need to be hunting for those things. They want a holistic overview of their environment. Another thing that's different between bug bounty and web app pen test, I had another thing on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, I made an entire video about this in the course. You'll be able to watch it. So yes, it will help you with, this is what I was thinking of. To be a good web app pen tester, you need to be able to discover all kinds of vulnerabilities in a bunch of different applications. Often those who are really good at bug bounty hunting, they find a particular bug that they specialize in. So maybe one person's really good at cross-site scripting, another person's really good at finding broken access control. And when they do bug bounty, that's what they hammer in on. They're not really necessarily looking for other bugs. To be a good web app pen tester, you need to have an understanding of all the different bugs, how to find them, and even how to remediate them. So all of their similarities between bug bounty hunting and real web app pen testing, there are quite a few differences. And people don't realize that if they've never done web app pen testing. And that's actually a weakness that I see in a lot of courses today that teach you about web app pen testing or web app security. Many of those courses approach it from the perspective of being a bug bounty hunter, because people hear about bug bounties and think they'll be the next person making a bunch of money. Reality is you probably won't be. Reality is most of your bugs are going to be duplicates in the beginning, and it's very, 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 very hard to make a living doing bug bounty hunting, but that's what's sold to people. And then the people teaching the courses are bug bounty hunters. They are not web app pen testers. And so then when you take a bug bounty hunter and they join a pen testing firm, I've seen this from experience, they struggle a lot because their bug bounty methodology does not necessarily translate to real web app pen testing. My course is geared towards real web app pen testing, not bug bounty or CTFs. Hopefully that's helpful. How is it compared to CBBH? The CBBH is super good. I think they changed the name though, to be clear. Yeah, it's the Certified Web Exploitation Specialist, I think. If it would load. Yeah. And it's this course is really good, guys. I would say what's the difference between this one and mine is mine is just video based, whereas this one is going to be text based. Other than that, it should cover mostly the same things. I'm just looking at this now. I went through this course, but this was a long time ago that I went through it, so I don't remember what it all covers. But I'm making my own. I'm not trying to compare it to Hack the Box, but Hack the Box is really good. The biggest difference would be that mine is all video based and more affordable, unless you have a student subscription to Hack the Box. All right, scrolling. I was trying the Pollution Challenge Lab, but it seems a bit difficult for me. The Pollution Lab showcases a vulnerability that definitely isn't beginner level. So I would not say that Pollution Lab that I released is for beginners. If you're having issues with that, look up prototype pollution and how to test for it. Aaron said, hey man, do you think CRTO 1 is worth it as the first cert to get? Because budget for me is tight and I want to get my first certificate. Maybe. I'm looking it up real quick from 0 Point Security. You might struggle having it be your first certification, I think, but I've also never taken it. And I think CRTO is at least somewhat recognized by HR, but I know your budget is tight, but if you really want a certification that actually helps you move, it'd be OSCP. Sorry, the heat just turned on. I don't think you guys can hear it, but it's loud in this office when the heat turns on. All right, let me see some other questions. BC Thing says, I think Tyler will do things with Kaido because of it not being throttled, but that's just me saying it. Yeah. So I will be showing both Burp Suite and Kaido in my course, but once again, my course is for those who want to become web app pen testers, or you're already a pen tester and you want to transition into web app. And as much as I love Kaido, the industry standard tool is Burp Suite. So I do show both Burp Suite and Kaido, but for much of the course, I do it in Burp Suite purely because if you get hired as a web app pen tester, there's a 99.9% chance they're going to want you to use Burp Suite for the role. So I just want people to be familiar with it, but I will be showing both Kaido and Burp Suite. Love your 25K video. There are far more important things in life than money. That money will go fast when you do the right things to do for life. True. Thank you. I appreciate it. Life Dose 2 said, who do you think is considered a beginner doing your challenges? Someone with zero IT experience or someone that already has some experience? You have to have some experience to be a beginner in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a more advanced field. If you have zero IT experience, you don't want to start learning hacking. You want to first build a solid foundation. And what I would recommend is doing the learning. Even if you don't take the certifications, do the learning for CompTIA's A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus, or better yet, the CCNA. That'll give you a very solid technical foundation to then build hacking on top of that. So even if you don't pay for the certifications, you can look up people like Professor Messer, who has a bunch of free, high-quality training covering those certifications. I think Jason Dion as well has free, high-quality training. but you don't want to just dive into hacking if you have zero IT experience. You want to build a solid foundation and baseline first. And the purpose of Hack Smarter, I'm not going to teach people how to do basic IT. I'll teach you how to hack. How's the business going? We'll talk about that in a little bit. What's up, Fix It? Good to see you. Making my oldest 18-year-old cake for tomorrow. I love it. Bruja said, if you could only pick between DEF CON and Wild West Hacking Fest, which are you picking? I've only been to DEF CON. If I had to choose, I would choose Wild West Hacking Fest. It's a much smaller conference. It's a much more affordable conference. It's also in the state of South Dakota where I live, so it's way cheaper than anything in Las Vegas, and I just like the vibes of Wild West Hacking Fest. Been a while. I hooked up with your live stream. Have you left your other office? Yeah, so... Guys, my first office I had, if you remember, got infested with wasps, like 40 to 50 of them. My second office, I was live streaming. This is right before I went on break, and I heard chirping, and I turned up the microphone, and the people in the live stream could hear it as well. There was a bat in the wall somewhere, and we haven't been able to find it. I'm back at that office now. So it looks like I'm at my house because I have the brick wall, but I'm actually at my office. I'm not home right now. I moved the brick wall here. It's such a long story. One issue I had is this room was too reverby, too echoey. So I ended up putting soundproofing on the wall behind me. And I have a massive curtain in front of me to help with like catching the sound. But once I did the soundproofing behind me, it literally looked terrible on camera, even if I added lights. So then I still needed a backdrop. So I brought my brick wall from my house and threw that behind me for now and ordered a second brick wall for my house. So... I am at the bat office right now, but I have not seen or heard from the bat. So that is a plus. All right, let me scroll. Dude, Tyler, I heard about the Try Hack Me AI and that they're using our data. Is that right? And what should I do? Should I switch over to Hack the Box? You should switch to Hack Smarter. I feel like, guys, I've talked enough about Try Hack Me, so I don't want to talk about Try Hack Me anymore. How long do you think it takes to be proficient in solving CTFs? That all depends on the person. What might take one person is going to be different than another person based on the time you put into it. If you can work on solving about one machine a day, you'll be proficient, I would say, in about 6 months. But yeah, switch to Hack Smarter. That's the way. Madej said, hey, Tyler, I got an end of studies internship, but it is unpaid. And the market sucks out there in Tunisia. I can't even say your country. It sucks in the US too. And getting one in cyber is pretty hard. So do you think I should negotiate? I would say, why not? Now, I don't know your country. I don't know what the market is like there. But in my opinion, you never lose anything by trying to negotiate as long as you go to the table with an open mind. Cyber Gilly said, do you have any plans for business to business or an enterprise subscription for businesses? I don't think so. In my opinion, and this really is just my opinion, and I'm brand new to like building this thing. So I'm saying this with a huge caveat and a huge grain of salt that I could change my mind on this. But I feel like companies begin focus on business to business because that's where you actually can make good money. And it's often because they have outside investors who need a return on investment. When a business or when a company like a training platform starts emphasizing business to business sales, the grassroots part of the community goes downhill fast. And Hack Smarter is fully grassroots. And I want it to be a community by hackers for hackers. So I hope businesses use the platform, but as of now, I don't have any special like business to business sales or enterprise subscription. My content's just accessible. It's affordable. Generally, to do business to business stuff, you need content that's super expensive that you can just sell to those businesses. And I'm just not interested in that right now. Hey, Jay, so no, it's been a crazy week, dude. And Restream isn't working, so I can only live stream to one platform. So I'm only live on YouTube, not Twitch. Stupid YouTube chat, though, guys. It always drops down, and then I miss where I was at. Have you taken an MBA or similar thing? Do you think they're essential for starting your own org? I don't have an MBA. I have a Master's of Divinity. I was a pastor for 10 years, and I spent about 4 years academically studying theology at the graduate level. I don't have an MBA, but I have a lot of business experience. I do have an associate's degree in business, but on the church world, I actually started a church from scratch. We won't go into that story now. Not like a cult, right? But like a small church community that I grew from just a few people to being self-sustaining. And although a church and a business are, of course, different, a lot of things are similar. Budgets are similar, legal is similar, finances are similar, managing all that. So I have about 10 years of experience running a business, and that's how I'm able to do what I'm doing now. Do I use Burp or Kaido? I use Kaido when I live stream. I generally use Burp when I'm doing actual pen testing. Will you include a course where you teach junior pen testers how to write pen test reports during engagements? I plan on making a mini course covering that. The price will be $29.99 when it comes out for lifetime access. Otherwise, you can do the all-access subscription. To be clear, though, if you pay the $29.99, you do get lifetime access. You never have to pay anything else again. With Kairos, how do you find the proper price to quote? Do you have a magic formula? Kind of depends on the organization. I mean, I can tell you guys what pen testing firms charge if that's what you're interested in. Here, let's talk about that. Because that is something that people don't talk about, because once again, I feel like a lot of the people who make the hacking content online don't actually work in the field or have not worked in the field for a long time, and they won't tell you what things cost because they actually don't know. So generally when you're doing a pen test, the price is based on the project, not based on like number of hours or anything like that. The mate calculator looks stupid. Anyways. And for kind of your entry-level pen testing firm that is mainly just going to run a Nessa scan and not do much else, you're looking at about a day rate of $800. And let's say that your average pen test is 5 days. So for your entry-level pen testing firm that can mark that checklist for you, but they're really not going to do much manual testing, you're looking at about $4,000 for a 5-day web app. On the other hand, some of those bigger firms, so the really well-known firms, I don't actually know their pricing for sure, but firms like Bishop Fox, the ones with the big names, those are much more of the premier level pen testing firms. For those ones, you're looking at a day rate of about $4,000 per day. And then if you do a 5-day pen test with some of those like more premier firms, you're looking at about $20,000 for that 5-day web application pen test. For the more boutique pen testing firms and firms like mine, KairosSec, our pricing is very much on a scale. It's based on the organization and what they're able to afford in their budget. But as a general rule, our pricing is about $200 to $250. I would say it's probably closer to $200 most of the time. And so our day rate is $1,600. So if we do a 5-day web app pen test, you're looking at about $8,000 for that 5-day web app pen test. Now, those are rates in the United States. I do not know rates in other countries, but the rates I just gave you are very accurate for what you're looking at in the United States for pen testing firms. Hopefully that's helpful. Dang, we take on the Sands Industrial Complex now. Sam's is not a competitor of mine, and I'm not a competitor of them. They do business-to-business sales at a crazy amount of money. Their teaching's really good, I've heard. Like, their instructor's really good. I've never taken it, so I don't know how Sands is. But I've been told by people who have taken Sands courses and then taken, for example, my Sliver C2 course, that my Sliver C2 course was significantly more in-depth and hands-on, which is a little bit sad because my Sliver C2 course is like, what is it, 40 something dollars right now? It's discounted. I don't remember what it is. No, it's 60, whereas the sand stuff was like 7,000. For C2 frameworks, I mean, if you want to actually get a job as a red teamer, you're probably going to be using Cobalt Strike. It's just Cobalt Strike isn't cheap. Do you think CompTIA Triage, do you mean the trifecta, is still good in 2026? If nothing else, it gives you a solid foundation. I have not looked at the entry-level IT job market, so I don't know how many job postings are asking for it, but it does give you a good foundation. Yo, Mary Ellen said, just recommending your class today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. So BC Think says Jason Haddock said the same thing, specialize in a specific bug. Yes, because he teaches bug bounty. He does pen testing too, but yeah, being a good bug bounty hunter means focusing on a specific vulnerability class or type and then hunting for that on the programs. What are the top 3 programming language you use as a professional, and what is your favorite language? I use Python. I don't have a top 3. Just use Python. Can you show us an example of your note-taking process or mindset? I show this on literally every video on my YouTube channel or live stream, so I would just direct people to those. Oh, and yeah, I have 2 videos on note-taking, if I recall. I'm 16, learning right now for the CCNA. Want to get into pen testing network? I love it, dude. You're starting out great. That's awesome. Okay, I'm almost to the bottom. Going for ASCP as a first cert. Is that the API people? I have not taken that cert, so I don't have any advice on it. Which pen test certs can pass HR filters if they don't recognize OffSec as an organization? If every pen testing company recognizes OffSec as an organization. Exactly. Mr. Bassett testing an AI agent for bug bounty vulns today. And I can tell you now, we are not losing our jobs anytime soon. Oh, hey, thank you for the super chat. I do have hacking merch, guys. Head over to store.hacksmarter.org. You can get all the swag I'm wearing now. You can get your black hoodie on. You can get your Hack Smarter shirt or your Hack Smarter hat. Here's the hat I'm wearing. Here's the black hoodie on that I'm wearing right here. Get all the swag. Store.hacksmarter.org. Okay. I'm going to kind of speed run some of these questions, guys. I believe it or not, I have to sign off pretty soon to go pick up my kids from school. That's why we're not doing hacking today. I figured I would just have time to do Q&A. I am Batman. Hey, Dracano, that's exactly what I'm making, my friend, is a web app course. What do you think of some must-have portfolio projects at OnePress Recruiters? Forget portfolios. If you want to get into pen testing, find CVEs. Get a CVE on your resume. That's going to do better than a portfolio. Other than that, I would suggest starting a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has opened up some amazing doors for my career. And I mean, that's how I started everything. So if you're comfortable talking, start a YouTube channel. It grows slowly, but it's a lot of fun. You get to meet cool people and you get to help a lot of people. When are you making a Hack Smarter cert? Hopefully never. There's too many certifications. I don't want to add to the alphabet soup of certs. And in my opinion, most certifications created are just businesses trying to make money off of people. I'm not interested. Maybe based on how this week has gone, I should probably become more interested in money, but I don't know. I would rather fail as a business owner with my integrity intact than, yeah, we'll just say that. Anyone have any what I wish I knew advice for starting at WGU? I was working 2 full-time jobs. I was a pastor full-time. I was working in IT support full-time, in person, on site, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a wife and 2 kids. And then I did WGU in 7 months. My only advice is don't do that. It was very exhausting, but I didn't have a choice. How old am I right now? I feel like this is the old chat rooms and someone's like, ASL, right? I am 32, a male, and USA. That's my ASL. Did I finish my sermon for Sunday yet? That's the other thing, guys. This week has been insane, and I'm preaching this Sunday at a church, and I barely even started it. I literally haven't had time. I don't even know when I'm going to. Alexan said that's exactly the amount that we charge for a Nessa scan. See, guys, I know pen test pricing well. I've been in this space for a bit. Sup, Amish? Can you work at a pen test firm remotely? Because I'm not dealing with USA immigration. It's possible, but most US-based pen testing firms require their pen testers to be US citizens because of client requirements. Oh, that's awesome, Sank. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. How do you know that the engagement will be 5 days? It's just an average. I don't know how long it's going to be till I do a technical scoping call. Guys, you're going to really enjoy this web app course. I go in all the details on how a pen test actually works. I cover the legal documents, how I scope out pen test. You guys will enjoy it. Many of the questions you're asking will be in the course. Will you manage a way to make us able to buy your course with Bitcoins? I have no idea. I'd have to talk to my accountant. That's one big change I made for 2026. I switched from a single member LLC. I am now an S Corp. Doesn't mean anything to you guys, but I now have to pay myself a proper payroll, and I have a professional accounting team managing all of that for me so I don't screw it up. And accepting Bitcoins for payment, I would just have to talk with an accountant to figure out how do I do this so the IRS doesn't come after me. Taxes suck too, guys. I spent way too much money on taxes just a week ago. Is HackSmarter good for learning general cybersecurity, or is it focused specifically on pen testing? Right now it's pen testing, but that we'll be adding more content very soon. Who is the most underrated rapper? I'd have to think about that. I don't have an answer right away. John, Twitch is broken, guys. LinkedIn is broken. It's not my fault I'm not on Twitch or LinkedIn. Restream did not want to stream to it. Okay. I want to show you guys some content, from the platform, things that I'm working on. What does my pen testing you do generally cover? Can you give us a brief overview of the process and outputs? If I have time, I'll come back to that. Ask the question again. I have to go get my kids soon, but I want to show you guys some things. Oh, you passed the CJCA. That's awesome. Congratulations. Seriously. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Guys, first, let me show you why I have not been streaming. Well, one of the reasons. So this is my web app pen testing course that I'm working on. I have everything done up to 6 right here. But I'll give you a real brief overview, and not all of it's polished yet, right? The beginning ones are. So, you have your welcome and expectations. We have the classic about your instructor stuff, the prerequisites for the course, what the course is and is not, some references that I recommend people checking out, support, work with me, blah, blah, blah. Here's a piece that I think a lot of courses are missing, and that's just an overview of how web apps actually work. So I have a whole section on web app basics. We talk about how the client server model works. I give you a demo of the request and response cycle. We break down the anatomy of an HTTP request. We break down the different HTTP responses and what they mean during a pen test. We talk about modern architecture, specifically single page apps and all of that fun stuff. Then we get into intro to web app pen testing. So the question a lot of you are asking, how does a pen test actually work practically? What goes into it? I break down the entire pen testing process from the moment a client reaches out on KairosX's website for interest in a pen test, and I take you all the way through to the pen test, to the debrief, to the remediation testing and all of that good stuff, how the real life process works. I talk about the difference between pen testing and bug bounty, pen testing and red teaming. I even give you an overview of the main legal documents, namely the MSO, SOW, and rules of engagement. Not only that, but I give you my actual legal documentation I send clients. So when I am lining up a pen test, I need the client to send the master service agreement, the statement of work, and the rules of engagement. I walk you through what those actually mean. I then pull up the ones that I use, highlight the main things to draw your attention to, and I give you those documents to download so that you can repurpose for yourself if you ever want to do contracting or pen testing on your own. We, of course, have section quizzes. Then we have a whole section, you see I haven't even had to the text of this yet, a whole section on Burp Suite, an overview of Burp Suite, how to install the cert, an overview of the UI. We go through all the tabs in UI so that you better understand Burp Suite. We talk about how to intercept requests and using Repeater. I host Juice Shop for you for some of these labs. We talk about how to set your scope so your UI is not overwhelming. I talk about how to do some basic fuzzing with Intruder. I talk about the different extensions that you can install in Burp Suite Community Edition to extend the functionality of it. Then we go into Kaido. I give you kind of very similar stuff, how to install Kaido, some of the main Kaido features, how to use interception and the replay of Kaido, how to set a target in Kaido, and how to fuzz with Automate, which is sort of like an alternative to Intruder, but there's no rate limiting on it. From there, we get into information gathering. I have a custom lab that I made for you. You learn how to do fingerprinting of a server in a few different ways. We walk through directory brute forcing. We walk through subdomain and virtual hosts. I talk about how the importance and a big thing that junior pen testers miss out on is they immediately jump into hacking an application. And I talk about the importance of becoming a user of the application. Don't hack it right away. Just learn how the app actually works. And we actually go through hacksmarter.org as if we were doing a pen test, pull out some of the key functionality and some of the things we would look for in that functionality. So this is what I've spent my past 3 days doing, building labs for this, making the videos. Still, I need to add the notes. Still, I need to add all the section quizzes. But then next, we'll talk about authentication. We'll talk about authorization. We'll talk about session management, server-side attacks, client-side attacks. We'll have a capstone challenge and then some career advice on the end. All of this stuff, though, that you're seeing here is subject to change. I actually use my Kindle Scribe. I wrote down the curriculum, like what I want to cover, but as I'm recording and making the labs, I usually add even more material. So all of these things are subject to change. Even this stuff here is subject to change, but 1 through 6 is everything that I've been able to accomplish in just the past few days. So that's a very quick overview of my upcoming web app pen testing course. I am targeting a release of late February, early March. It all depends how long the lab build out takes me and how much time I'm able to dedicate to it alongside of pen testing. The price of the course is probably going to be about $49.99, but when the course releases, I'm going to give it to you 50% off, $29.99 for lifetime access the first month that the course is out. It's also available in the all access subscription. I could easily charge, I could charge $29.99 honestly just for the legal documents that I'm giving you, let alone for the entire course and lifetime access. But I really try to make this content affordable and accessible for everyone. If I had enough money to just make all of it free, I would. But the hosting costs alone of Hack Smarter, I can't just constantly give away free stuff. But I do have like 800 plus videos on YouTube and stuff that are free. But that's a very quick overview of the web app pen testing course. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts or questions over in the live stream. All right, let me scroll up and see if you guys have any feedback on that. You're like, that freaking sucks. Computer Guy Jerry said, I know your take on advanced courses is that those topics are better learned in the field, but a few advanced topics would be good for those of us that are intermediate and above, but not pen testers. Sure. I'm trying to think of the best way to answer that. I think at that level, you learn best by diving into labs and then hacking alongside of me in labs. And then you learn as you do the labs. But that's just my opinion. But I'll chew on that. I'll think on it. What it takes to work under you as an intern, no one can work under me as an intern. For a few reasons. One, guys, I'm still trying to figure out if I can pay myself, let alone pay other people. For an unpaid internship, it takes significant time on my part just to have a good internship program. I'm working right now. I actually don't even know. I could give you a rough idea of what my work has been this week. I would say yeah, so I did the math. This week alone, I've worked about 65. It'll probably end up being 70 hours by the time I call it a day, end of today now, and then I have to preach on Sunday at a church. I don't even know, but this week alone, I'm looking at about a 70-hour work week. And I talked about this before, we won't go into it. Sales is one of the things that has been down in the new year. So if you do the math, I'm pretty sure I calculated I'm making about $7 an hour right now. So I'm basically an intern, just an intern with a camera. All right, let me just scroll through. The difference between a pen test and a CTF is walking the app and mapping it out. That's a big part of it, yeah. The legal side is really good as most courses don't cover this. That's because most courses aren't made by pen testers. Or like the tough thing about pen testing is if you're just a pen tester in an organization, you may not even be aware of those documents. Like in my previous firm, I did not do much with the legal side of things, but now I run my own firm. So I actually met with lawyers to figure out how all that worked. And so the fancy lawyer money I paid, I'm giving to you guys and walking you through the process. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. Don't take legal advice from me, but oh, we got the bearded IT dad Dakota checking in with the 1337 super chat. I love it, dude. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the support. You are awesome, my friend. I appreciate it. Shout out to the bearded IT dad. We are only on YouTube right now. Restream broke, so I'm not on LinkedIn or Twitch. So all of you on YouTube, you can see the super chat. If you have not checked out the bearded IT's channel, check it out. He has amazing content. We have an interview that we did a while ago that I think you'll really enjoy about breaking into the field as a pen tester. But make sure you check out the Bearded IT Dad's channel and his community that he's building. But dude, thank you, Dakota, for the support. I really do appreciate it. How am I doing on time? 3:01. Shoot, guys, I have to leave in like 9 minutes. So I apologize. I was hoping to stream more this week, but been focusing on the course. Had a 2-day pen test. Here, I'll share with you guys a little bit of the craziness of my week. Let me pull up my calendar just so I can see it. You guys can see it with me. So I took 3 weeks off, sort of. I was still working. I should have learned how to disconnect better. But I live streamed on Sunday. My first day back to the office was on Monday. And as you can imagine, I had a lot going on then. But I also had a short pen test kickoff. It was actually more of a network vulnerability assessment, not a full pen test, just Monday and Tuesday that we had going on. So dived into that right away. Had some crazy technical issues with my VM, with my machines. Very stressful on Monday because I couldn't get things working properly. Eventually got it working in the afternoon, but cost me quite a bit of time. But was able to finish that up and then dived into the web app pen testing side of things. But then I don't want to be TMI. I don't want to share a bunch of personal details on stream, but also some personal issues in my family, some healthcare things on top of all the craziness of this week. So I had that going on. Also had, if you didn't watch the video, I had a sponsorship that was basically certain, but there was a few things that were red flags for me and they wouldn't let me fully try out the platform. So I could have made $12,000 making 12 60-second YouTube shorts. That's about as easy as money as I could get. But out of principle, I had to turn it down. So I lost out on $12,000 at a point of time where like I could really use that $12,000. Oh, dude. And then my toilet broke, out of all things. My freaking toilet broke. So I had to call a plumber and spent $700 fixing my freaking toilet in my house. But anyway, so I basically lost that $12,000. Then I had a promising pen test client reach out to me for a quote, which was like amazing. All right, we got some business. This will be good. But then the client ended up being a former client of my previous employer. And I have a non-solicitation with them. Now, to be real, I could have done the pen test. I would not have broken any law because non-solicitation means I cannot solicit my clients from my former place of work. I cannot reach out to them. Technically, if they reach out to you, you are not breaking the non-solicitation, but I value my relationships with people at the other firm. So I talked to them and tried to get their permission to take on the client, and they didn't want me to take on the client. So I had to turn down that client as well. So you add that up, that was in one day. In one freaking day, I was out like $25,000, which is amazing. And I still am questioning myself on all of that, but I think I made the right decision. Like, it's a struggle, but what I'm realizing is when it comes to business, there's a lot of different ways to sell your soul or hurt your integrity. And at the end of the day, I think this will succeed. We're still going in a positive direction. I have a lot of runway, so I can do this for about 1.5 to 2 years without freaking out and trying to find another W-2 job. So I'm committed to this for about 2 years. I definitely think it will pay off in that time. But there's been many opportunities as of late that I made a post last week. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like rambling. I made a post last week on how I'm not motivated by money. And I feel like God, or if you don't believe in God, the universe, whatever your faith is, was like, Tyler says he's not motivated by money. Let's see. Let's see if he's motivated by money. And yeah, so I've taken some hits this week, guys, on the business side of things. Oh, I had some major deals fall through. I had some pen tests that were lined up for Q1 that seemed to be certain, but then unrelated things, not related to me, not related to the client, caused those deals to fall through, which was a massive, like, not good thing. And so I've taken some big hits on the business side of things, big hits in my personal family side of things, while working like 65, 70 hours. Oh, and then the whole platform broke yesterday. We released a new lab machine yesterday called Triathlon. Amazing machine. You should check it out. But it just happened that so many people were trying to connect to the machine that they somehow took down the VPN server that CoreStack was using to host this stuff in the cloud. And it took a while for that to come back online. So then I just felt bad because it's like, yo, if you're checking out a platform and then the infrastructure sucks, you're not going to want to subscribe. So I'm hoping I didn't lose potential people when that machine released. And then today, before trying to live stream, Restream apparently doesn't work anymore. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't stream to Restream. I still don't know the answer to that. I don't know when I'm going to fix it, which is why it's YouTube only. So it's just every single day this week, freaking insane stuff has happened. But I'm still here. I still got a smile on my face, and we'll keep moving, right? If you can't fight tired, you can't win fights. But that is the reality of entrepreneurship. I'm not going to be one of those freaking YouTubers who is like, hey, look how much money I'm making. Look how successful I am. Blah, 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 blah. Most of those YouTubers are lying to you. And actually, if you look into them, if you look at the description, they're always selling a course about how to become like them. And it's just like silly freaking life advice, because the reality is they're making their money by ripping you off. That's how those big YouTubers are making that money and then selling you a lifestyle. I refuse to be that kind of person. So guys, when it's going well, I'll let you know. I don't want to be like bragful or boastful about it, but when it's not going well, I also just want to be honest with you. Like, I'm a real human being. I know it. Sometimes you might be thinking, Tyler, how do you accomplish everything you accomplish? Well, I am a human being. I still have to sleep occasionally. I still have my own mental, emotional state that I deal with. I sometimes struggle with. And so this whole business stuff, I'm super happy I did it. My goal for 2026 is to not become an employee. All right. That's my biggest goal. So I'm super pumped about Hack Smarter and KaiRosSec. But it has been a struggle this week in particular, jumping back into the grind. Dude, Bearded IT Dad, thank you. Thank you. Seriously, you are making my day. I appreciate your support. You are awesome. But guys, I'm so sorry. My kids are out of school. I have to go pick them up. Or the schools. Here's a fun story. When I started pen testing, guys, I was so focused on a pen test that I forgot to pick up my daughter from school. And the school called me and they're like, hey, are you going to come pick up Ava? And I was like, now I am. And I ran to the school. But I've only forgot to pick up my kids once from school. Now I'm pretty good about it. But guys, I have to sign off from the stream. I got to go pick up my kids. And then I got to come back to my office and keep working on my course. But no live streams this weekend. I eventually need to work on a sermon. Faith is a big part of my life. I'm also preaching on Sunday. Haven't had time to prep any of that. So I'll be working on that this weekend. Hopefully I'll be able to finish some live streams next week. But once again, I'll be working on my course. So I don't know what those are going to look like. But I'm still grinding away, guys. We're still moving forward. I really do appreciate your guys' support. You all are really amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.